Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Let's Talk About It podcast. I am your host, Adrian Jimenez, here with another video. Today's going to be a little different. We're not going to talk about last week's games. We're not going to talk about any of that stuff. Sorry I was gone last week. I was sick. Feeling better now. Appreciate all of you guys wishing me the best. But today we are here with my 2023 Pro Bowl votes. So, we're just going to do, for offense, we're just going to do skill positions. We're not going to do any linemen because that would take too long. I did vote for linemen, but we're not going to talk about it. It's going to take too long. And then defense, we only did DN, D tackle, linebacker, corner, safety, and then no special teams. So I get 6 votes for each position. I'm going to tell you who I voted for, why I voted for them, and why it is the right decision. So just to start off quickly, how you guys doing? It's been a while. I know. I don't have a mic today. I have my AirPods in. It's probably not going to sound the best, so I have to talk a little louder. But besides that, we're chilling. So to start off, we obviously have our quarterbacks. 6 quarterbacks. I tried to split it 3 each between each conference, but sometimes that's not going to work out. I think I have 1, 2, 3. I have 3 and 3 for the quarterbacks. So we're gonna start with the NFC. For the quarterbacks, my number 1 pick was Dak Prescott. He's MVP conversation type player right now. So we got Dak, Brock Purdy, and Jared Goff for the NFC. I know you could have threw in Jalen. You could have threw in freaking who else? Anyone else, but I think I picked Purdy over Jalen. 1, because of the last week's game, and 2, Jalen Hurts gets carried by goal line rushes. So I put Purdy in there. For the AFC, I put CJ Stroud, Tua Tagovailoa, and Lamar Jackson. All 3 of them arguably could be in the MVP conversation. I think CJ has been one of the best rookies we've seen play so far. Tua has been most consistent, and Lamar has been Lamar Jackson. He's improving as a thrower, even though he's already been good as a thrower, but he's improving in that area. He's doing a lot more with a lot less. Losing Mark Andrews is not good, but him bringing back to life an Odell Beckham Jr. is very impressive. So those are my 6 quarterbacks. I already say CJ Stroud, Tua Tagovailoa, Jared Goff, Dak Prescott, Brock Purdy, and Lamar Jackson. I try not to be biased in this, but shit happens. For the running backs, my first vote was Christian McCaffrey. He has over 1,000 all-purpose yards. He has the most rushing yards in the league so far. He's on one of the best teams and the best team in the league. So there's that. My second vote was Travis Etienne. He has keep proving to himself that he's still a number 1 running back in Jacksonville. He's had a great year. Just with the yards and the touchdowns, he's improved so much, and now he's gonna have a bigger role in this on this team with Trevor Lawrence being injured. Third vote, I have Raheem Mostert. He has 16 rushing touchdowns, or I think 16 total touchdowns. He's at about 800 yards. He's gonna hit 1,000 this year. He's just a goal line touchdown god. Fourth vote, I have Derrick Henry. Yes, he has been a little slow, but he's still shown he is still Derrick Henry. He's still the big guy, the king that we all know. So next I have Josh Jacobs. He slowed down a little bit. He was just off his bye, but he had a great game against KC. He had that 70-yard run. I think he has about 700 yards, 6 touchdowns. So he's still doing good. The running backs this year hasn't been great. I was tempted to put Pacheco in here or DeAndre Swift, but I think Josh Jacobs is probably better than both of them. And then a curveball, I put Rachaad White from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's doing a lot in this offense, receiving and rushing. Him, Baker, and Mike Evans have been a pretty good trio, so I put Rachaad White in here. Wide receivers, first of all, obviously Tyreek Hill. I think he's the MVP frontrunner. He might break 1,000 yards or 2,000 yards this year. He has 12 receiving touchdowns. He is the Dolphins' offense. Shout out Tyreek. My second vote is CeeDee Lamb. He's having one of the best years he's ever had. Yards-wise, touchdown-wise, he is Dak Prescott's best friend. So I put CeeDee Lamb in here. Keenan Allen is my third pick. He's obviously shown that he's still one of the best receivers in the league. Super consistent. Um, yeah, Keenan Allen. Fourth was AJ Brown. He is Everybody knows who AJ Brown is, big physical guy, but I think AJ Brown still deserves that Pro Bowl nod. I put Mike Evans in here too. He had 1,000 yards, 10th straight year. He's still showing he's one of the best receivers in the league. He's very underrated at this time. And a curveball again, I put Nico Collins on this list from the Texans. Him and CJ Stroud have been one of the best quarterback wide receiver duos, especially with Tank Dell going down with the season-ending injury. He's going to get more targets, he's going to get more yards. Don't be surprised if he averages 120 for the rest of the year. So I put Nico Collins. For the fullbacks, I only put 3 in here. I know you can put 6, but I didn't want to give other people votes just for no reason. So for the fullbacks, I put Alec Ingold from the Miami Dolphins. He's super underrated in our offense. He doesn't get a lot talked about because obviously he's a fullback, but he's done a lot. He has the most yards for fullbacks. He has the most touches, stuff like that. So I think Alec Ingold could be on here. Then I put Kyle Juszczyk. He's the best fullback in the league. He's the most used fullback in the league. He's the most versatile fullback in the league. He can make the Pro Bowl every single year. And then this is just a pick from the heart. I put CJ Ham on this list just because he went to the University of Augustana in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Shout out CJ Ham. For the tight ends, first pick was Travis Kelce. That's pretty much a lock. He's the best tight end in the league, but he's not the best tight end right now. You know what I mean? So I put Travis on here. Second pick was TJ Hawkinson. He's having the best year. It doesn't matter who's playing quarterback for the Vikings. He's still producing. So I put TJ Hawkinson. George Kittle, that's another lock for tight ends. He's one of the most versatile. He's the best blocker. He's the best route runner. He has great hands. So I put George Kittle on this list. Sam Laporta from the Lions. As a rookie, he is just dogging everyone. Sam Laporta is very underrated, very good tight end. Jake Ferguson from the Dallas Cowboys. He's having a great year. Red zone target guy. I think he has 5 or 6 touchdowns on the year. He had that dirty one against the Seahawks last week with Jamal Adams. So I put Jake Ferguson on this list. And then Trent McBride from the Arizona Cardinals. He has been emerging as a top tight end in this league. Had a great game last week against the Steelers, and I think he's pretty underrated. So I'm gonna put Trent McBride there. So that's for the offense. Obviously for the guards, tackle, centers, all that stuff doesn't really matter. So it matters, but it's gonna be too long if I describe it. So people that I feel like you could have put on this list for the quarterbacks, obviously you could have put Mahomes, you could have put Herbert. You could have put freaking Josh. You could have put Trevor. But I think CJ, Tua, Jared, Dak, Brock, and Lamar are the 6 best quarterbacks when it comes to the Pro Bowl. Those are just easy picks. Obviously, we've had season-ending injuries, which sucks, like Joe Burrow and Kirk Cousins, stuff like that. So it sucks seeing these big-name quarterbacks go down. I wanted to put Mahomes on here, but he's just having to his standards, such a bad year that I feel like all these other quarterbacks are outplaying him. So moving on to the defense, we got D-end, D-tackle, inside, outside linebacker, cornerbacks, straight, and then the safeties. We're gonna start with D-end. My first pick was Khalil Mack. He has the most sacks, I think, in the league. I'm not 100% sure, but he had the most sacks for D ends. He had 6 sacks against the Raiders. That itself is insane. But Khalil Mack has had a very good year so far. He is one of the stars on this Chargers defense, and he's really the only person keeping this team relevant. So Khalil Mack is my first pick. Second pick is a potential for Defensive Player of the Year, Myles Garrett. He has been one of the most unstoppable forces in this league. Every single season or every single week, it feels like he's putting up another highlight tape. So I'm gonna go Myles Garrett. Very underrated player for my third pick is Max Crosby. Man, he He has been a force this whole year. He is one of the hardest working people I've ever seen play football. 98% of the snaps every single game. He does not take a break. He's always running, always going somewhere. Um, then I have Trey Hendrickson from the Bengals. He's very underrated too. I think he's had a great year. He's had one of his best years. He's really the only reason. He's one of the big reasons they won that game against Jacksonville, besides the Jake Browning game. But Trey Hendrickson is having a great year. And I got Montez Sweat from the Bears. After getting traded from Washington to Chicago, he's made that extra step because he's the number one guy instead of him playing behind Chase Young or Deron Payne or something like that. So he's the number one guy in Chicago, so I have him as my number 5 pick. And then Sam Ebukam from the Colts. I feel like he's the commander on that defense. He is having a great year. They're 7-5, and nobody really had him going that high. So Sam Ebukam is my last pick. Defensive tackle. My first pick is Chris Jones. Obviously, he's the Chiefs' defense has been better than the Chiefs' offense, and he's a big reason why for that. Back-to-back picks, I have Dolphins. I have Zach Sealer and Christian Wilkins. They both have six or 6.5 sacks. The D tackles also haven't been great this year, but I think Zach Sealer and Christian Wilkins both deserve to be on the Pro Bowl roster because, one, they work so well together and they're playing outstanding. Christian is having his best year. Zach's having his best year. So I feel like they both should be on this list. I also have Ed Oliver from the Buffalo Bills. He's been good. He's one of my favorite players since he came into the league. Obviously, he's on the Bills, so I kind of hate him. But Ed Oliver has been very consistent and very good the last few weeks. Vita Vea, he's also one of my favorite players in the league from the Bucks. I love the moment when he got drafted. The moment, like, he's had so many viral moments, just like his teeth coming out when he got hit in the face and his tooth come out. Vita Vea, one of the biggest guys too. He's a run-stopping god. He's a pass-rushing connoisseur, I guess. And then lastly, I have Jalen Carter. He could win Defensive Rookie of the Year. Do I think it's going to happen? I doubt it, but Jalen Carter, I feel like he deserves a Pro Bowl spot. For the inside linebackers, my favorite linebacker right now in the league was my first pick, Bobby Okereke from the New York Giants. That game he had against us was really the first game I was like kind of paying attention to who he was, and ever since then he's been just balling. So Bobby Okereke, that's my boy. Quincy Williams from the New York Jets, brother of Quinnen Williams. He's having a great year too. He could be outplaying his brother, but I'm not sure. But I have Quincy Williams on here. Roquan Smith from the Baltimore Ravens. Obviously, he's been one of the best players in the league so far, or on defense. So I'm gonna go Roquan Smith. Very underrated too is T.J. Edwards from the Bears. He's been he's been a force. He's everywhere on the field. Great tackler and a leader. Alex Singleton from the Denver Broncos. He's also balling. He's also a force to be reckoned with. So, and then the last one, I don't know how to say his name. I've heard of this dude so many times. He's from the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm not even going to pretend to say his name, but if you know who I'm talking about, you know. That's the inside linebackers. Outside linebackers, I'm going to go with TJ Watt. This could be Defensive Player of the Year. I think he's the front runner, but TJ Watt, obviously. Josh Allen from the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's having a great year. He's having his best year. He kind of fell off a little bit last year, but now he's really picking it up. He had that pick on Monday. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Josh Allen. Danielle Hunter, who surprised me and a lot of people about how good he was this year and how good he's doing this year. Micah Parsons, that's a lock. Kayvon Thibodeau, who started off very, very slow, but like the last 6 weeks, he's really picked it up. He's I think he's top 4 in sacks for outside linebackers or edge rushers. So Kayvon Thibodeau, and then a dark horse pick. I'm gonna go with Rashawn Gary from the Packers. He's been one of my favorite players too since he came into the league. I remember his draft moment; he was balling his eyes out. He started off. I think he got hurt his rookie year, but now he's really picking it up. He's getting comfortable in that defense. So Rashawn Gary is going to be my last outside linebacker. Cornerbacks, I have pick six god Deron Bland. Obviously, he has the most picks in the league. He has the most pick sixes in the league. He could be leader of Defensive Player of the Year. Um, he's been very good this year. Paulson and Debo from the New Orleans Saints. He's been underrated. I know the last few years people have been picking up on who he's becoming, and now he's really shown it this year. So Paulson and Debo. Derek Stingley from the Texans. Everybody writ him off pretty early last year, but he's really getting used to this D'Amico Ryan's defense. And he had 2 picks against the Broncos. He has 3 on the year. He's been pretty locked down. Rasul Douglas from the Buffalo Bills. I hate putting Bills players on here, but you gotta be fair. So Rasul Douglas, ever since getting traded from Green Bay to Buffalo, he's been pretty locked down. Jalen Ramsey from the Dolphins. He 3 picks, 2 in 1 game, lockdown. I think he's only given up a few yards this whole year since being targeted. So Jalen Ramsey, and then a underrated pick again. I'm gonna go with Charvarius Ward from the San Francisco 49ers. Obviously had a great game against what's his freaking name, DK and stuff like that. So Charvarius Ward, I feel like he's pretty underrated in the cornerback world. Strong safety. I only picked 3 people because it was kind of weak, but I would pick 3 people. I got Reed Blankenship from the Eagles. The white man has been playing pretty well. Kyle Hamilton from the Ravens. He's also been one of my favorite safeties in the league. I think he's great in the box. He's a great blitzer. He had that crazy pick 6 against the Browns where he blitzed off the edge and then just tapped it up to himself, caught it, and ran it in. So Kyle Hamilton, he's really stepped up. His rookie year was a little disappointing for me, but now he's really stepping it up. And then I got Grant Delpit from the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland Browns have been one of the best coached and best overall defense in the league, so I got Grant Delpit. And then finally for the free safeties, I have Geno Stone, also from the Ravens. He has the most picks when it comes to the safeties. I think he has 6. He's really fitting in well. He's stepping up for them losing Marlon Humphrey and them losing Marcus Peters. So I think Geno Stone should be in here. Jesse Bates, he was a great addition to the Falcons defense. I remember when he signed, I was pretty happy for him getting out of Cincinnati, even though he was good in Cincinnati, but I didn't think he was gonna be as good. But Jesse Bates, he's proved me wrong. Kyle Duggar from the Patriots, he slowed down a little bit, but there was a point in time when he was like the guy, so I put him in here. Justin Simmons from the Broncos, he's been one of the best safeties the last few years, so I have him on here. Tyrann Mathieu from the New Orleans Saints, he slowed down a little bit too. People forget about him because he was on the Chiefs. He won the Super Bowl, and then he left and went to the Saints. His first year in New Orleans wasn't fantastic, but now he's stepping up. He's getting more used to the Saints defense that is playing pretty well and keeping them in playoff contention. If the only thing holding them back is pretty much Derek Carr. And then my last pick, Javon Holland. I feel like he's one of the best young stars in the NFL. He had that 99-yard pick 6. He only has 1 pick this year, but he's made important tackles. He's had a lot of important pass breakups. He's had a few tackles for loss. So I think Javon Holland should be on this list. So I didn't do special teams, but if I had to do kickers, I would put Jake Elliott, Justin Tucker, and freaking I don't know. That's it. Jake Elliott and Justin Tucker, and then for punters, freaking AJ Cole, and I don't know. That's it. Well, yeah, I'm not gonna do special teams. Anyways, that is my 2023 Pro Bowl votes. I feel like I did a pretty good job. I've probably left a few people out. As I was saying this, I realized I left out Fred Warner. Or you could really put anybody on that San Francisco's defense in the Pro Bowl. Fred Warner, Javon Hargrave, Chase Young, Eric Armstead. Nick Bosa. So yeah, I think that's it. So appreciate you guys for watching. If you have any disagreements or agreements or whatever, leave it in the comments below. Hopefully I don't get sick again, so I'll have a video out for you guys next week. So appreciate y'all for watching. Love y'all. Stay safe. Share it to your mom, share it to your dad, share it to your roommate, your brother, your grandma, your dog, your Fortnite duo. Okay? Appreciate y'all for watching. Love y'all. Stay safe.